that there's someone sitting behind me.
Hello.
Hello.
It's us.
Here.
Not in London. We are in the heart of the English countryside. We are hanging out in the Cotswolds, specifically in a place whose name I love to say, Wootton under Edge.
Smashed it, well done.
Thank you. And we might very soon be two people on the edge. Worth it? Yes, thank you.
We're here at the ancient Ram Inn because it's really fucking haunted, and it's haunted because it is over 1,000 years old. It's on, I believe, 2 ley lines, one of which comes from Stonehenge, which is probably why everything's so fucked up and scary. We've got child sacrifices, satanic business, we've got an incubus and a succubus, I believe.
Yeah.
Which I think they can change their gender. I think they just sort of bob around.
Wow. Though I will say, the bunting and the CCTV signs do take the edge off quite a bit, so I'm glad for that. We are here because of you guys. You voted for us in the Listener's Choice at the British Podcast Awards, and we won. We cannot believe it. We got the hat trick, guys. Thank you so much. And we have to thank Amazon Music for how we were able to pull this off so quickly. We're so grateful, and I hope this was worth it, because if one of us dies because we're murdered by a demon, no more red-handed for anybody.
We're gonna go in the big scary house. We're gonna look around the big scary house.
And we've also got our ghost hunting.
Yes, we've got legitimate ghost hunting equipment, which you are all aware of. I'm very au fait with, so I'll be explaining that to you later on. But first of all, we are going to speak to Caroline Humphries, who is the owner of the building, and then later on we'll be reading RedHaunted stories all the way from you guys inside. Under blankets though, so it will probably be fine.
Alright. It is creepy, but I feel less scared initially than I thought I would. What about this dude? He looks like he's got some sort of aggressive coleslaw on his face.
Yeah, he does. He does. He did.
Again.
I don't like it though.
Stuff of nightmares. Oh, mummified cat. Is this what we were told?
I've read about this.
There was a dead cat in here.
The mummified cat was found by John in the ancient Ram Inn, either behind a fireplace or inside a wall.
I mean, does it need a crucifix?
I mean, yes, look at it.
It's just a poor cat that was like trapped.
But it's 400 to 500 years old. All right, here we are in the witch's room.
Hello.
Joined by the wonderful Caroline Humphries. Thank you so much for having us. I feel like you must have done this many, many, many times.
Once or twice.
Well, you can help us then, because you're a seasoned pro. So I suppose the biggest question that I don't think I've seen answered accurately anywhere, how old is this place really?
But it does say in the transcription that this dates to 1350. Wow. But it is older than that because it's dated to time immemorial, which is about 1145. But what that actually means is before memory began.
Wow.
I believe this was one of the very first settlements in the area. Before Roman times, probably when the Dubonni tribe were in this area, and the Wicca would have meant that this land could have been used for sacrifices.
Wow. And are any of them still here?
Dad dug up some bones down in what we call the men's kitchen.
Okay. Hannah, I believe, and I might be wrong, but I think this is the room known as the gentleman's kitchen.
Okay.
Right. Okay, are we peeking too soon if we just immediately look at the open grave?
It's too late now.
What, there's children in there?
Yeah.
What does it say?
It says, R.I.P. to the earth and to those who lie beneath. We come in blessing and wish you only peace. Sleep tight, young ones. Love, Hull Uncovered Paranormal. Oh, I feel like we should have brought the children something.
We're definitely gonna get baby possessed now. Sorry, kids. Not in this economy.
We bought this place in 1968, and Dad was trained to be a Baptist minister, very deeply religious, didn't believe in haunted places at all.
And so you lived here as well?
Yeah, I was 7 when we moved in, and
wow.
I didn't understand why Daddy brought me to such a dump at the time, because it was a disused pub. It had been derelict for 5 years, not used. There's cockroaches and cobwebs everywhere.
How long did your dad live here before he started to have no choice but to believe in the paranormal?
Before we had no choice, it was probably a good 10 years.
Oh, wow.
We kept losing guests in the middle of the night.
Losing?
Yeah, they disappear. They go and stay somewhere else. And they come and say, they'd experienced something that, was paranormal, and Dad, being deeply religious, didn't really believe it. But over the years, he came to appreciate that so above there could be below. He experienced the sex demon, the incubus stroke succubus. He could feel it in bed with him, and it would hold his legs and hold him down and play with things that it shouldn't do in the night. And that freaked him out so much, he'd go to the local priest for support, someone to talk to, and they just told him he was mad and imagining things. So the Bishop of Gloucester, before he died, came to bless the house, basically, because of its hauntings, and he wrote in a book that it was the most evil place he'd had the mispleasure to visit before he died. And he basically left here, spiritually speaking, on his knees. He got a bit too close to something in here he couldn't cope with.
That's John.
Okay,
That's
maybe
the previous owner.
Ah, who was in Ghost Adventures. Tell me, what happened? What was he up to in Ghost Adventures? Because I haven't seen it.
He told a lot of stories about being attacked by a succubus and sleeping with a Bible next to him, and he slept in the front room, and that's where it all happened. And then he got just like a baby possession in the Ghost Adventures episode, just a little one.
What's a succubus?
So succubus, the way I remember it, is like succubus sucks things out of men and incubus goes into women. But they're the same thing.
This is very unnecessary.
I went to Catholic school, and that is why I know that.
Right, this one's a couple of minutes, 2.5 minutes long, but it's worth waiting for because it's the room that you haven't been in yet.
Which room is this?
We're in the witch's room. This is in the bishop's room. I'll just zoom in a little bit for you. But there's a set of curtains. I'll put it closer so that you can, up here. And the curtains open and close, and then they open again.
Is everyone just sat in the dark?
Yeah, so it's the infrared that we're looking at the moment. So they can't see one another, really. They don't even see the curtains to start with. It's quite significant, isn't it? It's not just a little twitch.
No, it's a pretty big, like, flap.
Oh my God.
And that was only a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
So that's...
We'll have to talk to them when we get down there. Of all the things in this room, you go, I don't like the bell, and I'm looking for this, like, ancient bell somewhere, and you're like, this bell. This bell is what's upsetting.
Yes,
Mayflower? Original?
Well, yeah, there's a plaque outside that
Saying?
one of the original Mayflower men lived here.
Well, there you go.
It's not out on the side of the road.
This particular room is said to be haunted by Elspeth the witch, who was not a witch. She was a healer. She was also a concubine to the priest. And what he did to get rid of his fancy lady, as we should call her, he accused her of bewitching men. So they damaged her inside, strangled her and burned her at the garden. And this is her room. And if you lie on her bed over there for a little while, you'll end up going into her world. And it's a very angry world now. She doesn't like men. Really, really doesn't like men.
Me either.
You get Hannah on the bed.
Yeah.
There's also a centurion that walks through the bishop's room and a cavalier. And there's also a man that was killed in there, and apparently his head was put in the inglenook to be killed. That's where the mummified cat was found, in that inglenook fireplace. But also in that inglenook, somebody's put 2 jars up there with a hex on 2 people, but they're trying to use evil spirits of the ram to actually affect these 2 people.
Possible trial site of John Horn, Protestant, burned at the stake by the Church of Rome in 1556. Church wardens forcibly broke into inns, carrying drunks to church.
Oh, wow.
Wow. So was he a Protestant or a drunk? Which was the reason they killed him?
You can be both.
You can be both, but which was the thing they had bigger issue with? That's the question. Oh, look, he was on the front cover of Mysterious West. Also, creepy little doll.
Oh, hello.
She's missing a foot. It looks like it's been chewed off by rats.
Oh, lovely.
What would you say is the most haunted room today?
I would say the attic.
The
I
attic.
get the most activity in the attic.
Active in what sense?
Well, I experienced a real massive poltergeist activity up there, a real big attack, yeah. Threw my furniture around.
When was that?
That was about 20 years ago. That's why I don't stay here anymore. It threw my bedside cabinet. It was full of tarot cards and books. It went out across the bed, through the bedroom door, and down the stairs, and all the tarot cards and books were thrown around the room when it finally reached the bottom.
So if we were going to try speak to somebody, we should try in the attic, would you say?
Yeah, I'll try a bit table tipping, something like that. It's good to see real hands-on active stuff.
Okay. Have you got a name we should be asking for?
Yes, you could ask for Adam. He's one of the original priests. That's his name.
Let's go for Adam.
Suitably terrified already.
Perfect. Caroline, thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure to meet you and get the backstory.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you.
I knew you were going to do that. It's all fun and games until you're the first one to cry.
Mate, nah. I'm going to make a quick exit. Everyone will be like, oh my God, where's Sue gone?
Oh, Jesus, having a bad time.
Yeah.
I'm going in here first.
Why not? Where?
In Elspeth's room.
This is the witch's room. Should we get Elspeth to play with us?
I don't think I know how to play Nine Men's Morris. I think it's like Ludo, but shit.
Elspeth, how do we play Nine Men's Morris?
Wait, hold on. Should we ask her on the spirit box? Do you have it or do I have it?
I have this. What's this, Hannah? Can you tell the people what this is? Because
Yes.
I don't know.
That is, we call in the industry, is a blinky lighty machine.
Ah, the infamous blinky lighty machine.
And if you turn it on, we could ask Elspeth to turn it red, but it's not on.
So how do I turn it? So, Elspeth, if you would like to play a game of Nine Men's Morris with us, go red.
She's not asked.
So much equipment. So what's this, Hannah? It says S-box on it.
Yeah, spirit box.
Spirit box.
It was invented by a man who wanted to talk to his dead daughter.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and it scans for radio frequencies, and then you hear noises, and they are scary.
Okay.
And sometimes they're ghosts.
Should I turn this off then?
Yeah, we can't be doing cross interference.
No, I wouldn't. I would hate to delegitimize anything we're doing. Oh my God. Shut up.
So then you press
What do I press?
that wavy button. So now it's going through to find...
Who's speaking? Radios. Do I just keep pressing it?
It'll keep going.
Elspeth, if you're here, could you talk to us on the radios? On the S-box?
That's just classic FM.
Hello.
Hello. We're now in a different room, but it's just as cold.
We're in the bishop's room now.
Oh yeah, well remembered. Mm-hmm. And Caroline told us that in this chimney there are some jars that have been put there to hex some people. I'm not going to touch it because I'm too scared. Light fingers over here.
I'm fine with
It's
it.
going to go in there and get it out.
Let's see. Apparently they've got pictures of people in.
Yeah.
How mental? How mental? Who did this?
I don't know.
Let's have a look. I have the torch. Okay.
Oh!
Fucking hell!
Why is my hair on fire?
Okay, I got them both. All right, let's have a little look. Oh. Heinz, bursting with flavour. I'm less scared. I'm not scared at all.
Okay.
All right, let's have a little look at what's... Should I open it? Okay, so it's got faces on it. It's legit got face on it. Are you okay to look at it?
I can look at it, I just can't touch.
This is so mortifying. Imagine if you found out that somebody had gone to the effort, like that's how much they hated you, that they had printed out a little picture of your face, stuck it on a weird little rag doll, put it inside a Heinz jar, and then come and secretly stuck it inside the Inglenook fireplace at the Ram Inn. It's a poor effort. They haven't even really... Like, if I was going to go to this effort, I would... It's like they've done it in a rush. She looks familiar. It's me. That's that. Okay, so we know what's behind us now while we
Yeah, open flames.
get started reading some of your RedHaunted stories. Okay, this one is from Courtney Kelly,
Okay, I'm ready.
and it's called The Boy in the Bathroom.
Okay.
Immediately your face dropped. I haven't even got to the best bit. Okay. When I was in the 3rd grade, so about 8 years old, I lived in a very old Victorian-era house, looking out onto a large field. The house was like every child's dream. There were large open rooms and an amazing staircase complete with the sort of railings that you see in movies that you could slide down. There was a summer and a winter kitchen. The summer kitchen also had a set of maid stairs that were steep and led to a small room for the maids' quarters. I basically turned this into my secret clubhouse, where I played Nintendo. Great. My mother, ahead of her time, gave us strict screen time limitations, but when I broke my wrist that year, she let me play video games for as long as I wanted. Then, late one Saturday night, when everyone else was asleep, I was up in the maids' quarters, playing my well-earned broken wrist video games. But I was also tired. I packed up and headed to the room I shared with my twin sister. I went through a side door leading to the hallway on the second floor. And being the responsible 8-year-old that I was, I decided to brush my teeth before bed. That's very responsible.
What do you want, another Nintendo?
But as I began walking toward the bathroom in the dimly lit hall, I heard the faint sound of someone whistling, and I froze. Frozen on my tiptoes, I listened closer. I didn't recognize the whistling. It was a kind of jaunty, fun tune, but I'd never heard it before. I knew that my twin sister was asleep, and I did have a stepsister, but she wasn't home that weekend. And I knew for sure it wasn't my mum or her boyfriend Max. The whistling was coming from the bathroom. I crept forward as slowly and as silently as I could in an old Victorian house with a summer kitchen.
So not.
Every time the floorboards creaked under my feet, I froze. But the whistling never stopped. When I reached the slightly ajar bathroom door, I shut my eyes tightly and leaned forward. I held my breath and peeked through half-open eyelids. And there was a boy. He was wearing a long, striped pajama nightgown and whistling at the sink, splashing his face, inspecting his ears, doing all the usual before bed routine.
I don't know how much I inspect my ears before I go to bed.
No, I don't either. Maybe we should be. At that moment, I lost my breath. I couldn't breathe at all. I just remember being in absolute disbelief. I had no idea who this boy was. I stood there, staring into the mirrored reflection, horrified, still not breathing. Then, as I thought I would faint from lack of oxygen, the boy stopped whistling. He then stared deep into the mirror. My heart froze as the boy started to slowly turn his head toward the door, towards me. I ran as fast as I could to my bedroom, not caring about waking up my sleeping twin. The second I reached my bed, I dove under the covers. Ghosts can't get you under the covers. I lay there as long as I could until morning came. I never saw the boy in the bathroom again. Fortunately, my mum and Max split up that year and we left that house forever. She doesn't like Max. Poor mum. To this day, when I feel scared, I find the smallest place possible to fall asleep. My favourite spot is inside cupboards.
I think there's something else going on there.
I think there might be, but we'll never know because that's where the story
That's
is.
the end of the story.
Thank you, Courtney Kelly. That was the boy in the bathroom.
Right,
Okay.
let's have a little look. Let's sit on the bed.
Okay, I'll
you
go
go
this
around
way.
that side. Should we both get in the bed?
I'm not getting in it.
I'll take. I'm not under the covers. That's gross.
No.
Let's
Okay.
talk.
Yeah,
Let's
Elspeth,
talk.
tell me all about why men ain't shit. Tell me about it.
So this is just essentially a broken radio. Is that what it is?
Until they
The
find
ghost.
you.
I see. Well, let's stop this for a sec. How do I turn this off? Oh, this.
There you go. Let's
Try
try the EMF.
I haven't gone into a dark world.
I've not yet.
I just feel quite calm, but
I don't know if calm is the word I would use. Nothing.
Nothing. Let's see.
So EMF
Maybe
stands
go to her
for
vanity.
electromagnetic field.
Oh, 1 electromagnetic field.
Yeah, that's probably you.
What is it that ghosts do to electromagnetic fields?
They are it.
They are electromagnetic
Yeah.
fields?
Yes,
Oh,
but she's not here.
she's not here.
Are we calling it quits in Elsbeth's room?
I think so. Goodbye. I'm sorry they burned you as a witch.
Let's try a different room.
Okay.
What else have we got? Oh, you know what we should do before we leave? Where's
What?
the...
So these are 2 short stories from Kathy's time working as a nurse in an ICU in Earl's Court in London. Kathy is in the ICU at night, and that's when your patients are settled, they're stable, it's darkish, it's quiet, and it's warm. And one night, Kathy was fairly new to the unit. She was sat there. She started to nod off. But suddenly, she was jolted awake by a sharp poke in her ribcage, only to look around to find that she was alone. And she thought it was a bit weird, but didn't make too much of it. Until she happened to mention it to a co-worker, whose face went pale as a sheet when Kathy told her what happened. She then told Kathy that the previous nurse unit manager didn't like it when staff nodded off mid-shift, and she would poke them to wake them up. And she had died of cardiac arrest 12 months before in the very same hospital. Okay.
What if jobs were?
Yeah, I know, if you're dead from beyond the grave.
Let our hard-working nurses now.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I've got another one.
Ready.
Same hospital, same Kathy.
Oh.
So in that same ICU ward in Earl's Court on another night shift, Kathy just transferred a patient up to the ward and settled them in. And then she walked back to the nurses' station to hand over their information, and she heard a lady crying in one of the other rooms. Kathy wasn't particularly familiar with this ward. She didn't work on it. She didn't know any of the patients, so she mentioned it to one of the ward's nurses, that there was a lady crying in room 20. And the woman just goes, okay. So Kathy said, what, do you want me to go and check on her? And they were like, no, that's room 20. We never use room 20. Somebody died in there and never left. Kathy thought they were pulling her leg.
Can NHS hospitals afford to just not use a room because somebody died in there?
It's Earl's Court, it's full of rich people, it's fine. So she did think that they were pulling her leg. But she went back to room 20 and once again could hear a soft crying coming from within. And sure enough, as Kathy opened the door, room 20 was empty and the crying had stopped. I like Kathy. You can come again.
That was good. They were good. They were good. Okay. We're now back in the bishop's room.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, right.
There's supposed to be a monk in here, I think. But I've got nothing.
This is also where the succubus and incubus are.
Oh yeah.
Who lives in here? Who lives in here? The bishop's room, the monk, and the succubus and the incubus.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll call them, Hannah.
Hi, lads. Hello, Mr. Monkman.
Anyone here who wants to be electromagnetic? A
No.
1? What is the scale?
I think it goes up to 100. But
0 to 1.
So this, we've got not much going on.
Yeah. All right.
But I feel like there's someone sitting behind me. Don't. It's not funny. There couldn't be a time in the history of my life where that joke is less funny.
Okay, let's try the spirit box again. Turn it on, that'd be helpful. All right, here we go. That really scared me the first time. Okay, come on. Come on, succubus. That's very... bit on the nose.
What? Help me.
Help me. All right. If you were the reason for why somebody wrote that, tell us. There's also a massive, vacant space above here.
Don't say that, man.
Okay, this is doing nothing.
What else have I got in my bag?
What have you got?
Just...
Oh, the COVID.
Monk, do you have COVID?
This guy might come pay us a visit.
All right. He's who I can feel sitting behind me.
Okay, maybe they all just are hanging out in the attic. Maybe that's what's Okay, my next story. It's called Samia, and it's been sent to us by Eliza Patel.
Isn't the girl in the ring called Samia?
Samira.
Oh, close.
Very close. Why do I know that? It's too much information. Okay. When I was in the 8th grade, there was a girl in my class called Samia. She was very lively and kind, and we'd sit together in maths. But Samia had a medical condition. I didn't know what it was exactly, but she needed to take medication in the middle of the day, and the school nurse would give it to her. One day, we went on a 3-day school camping trip, and halfway through the 6-hour coach journey, Samia stood up and asked the teacher for her medication. He then searched through his big bag of inhalers, eczema creams, and EpiPens, but he couldn't find Samia's tablets, even though he was sure he'd packed them. In the end, Samia said she'd be fine without them anyway. The following morning, an ambulance arrived at the campsite to take Samia away. She'd woken up pale, her eyes were bloodshot, and she'd had multiple seizures throughout the night as her tent mate slept. This is quite dark. When we all returned to school the following week, our principal held an assembly and told us that Samia had died.
Oh my God.
Guys, this is not fun. Okay. About an hour after the assembly, the school's fire alarms went off. It turned out to be a false alarm, and we all went back inside, but they went off again, and again, and again. Our school's fire alarm policy meant that the fire department had to be called. And when they arrived and realised that there wasn't actually a fire to be found, they found that the alarms should have been replaced a month before. But even after they were replaced, the alarms kept going off. Once a month, every month, on the 12th. Samia died on the 12th.
Yeah, I figured that one out.
Yeah, I was going to say, if anyone hadn't connected the dots.
For a completely unrelated reason.
So now, after I graduated and left school, my little sister told me that they were still having the same issue with the school's alarms. Only now, they'd stopped evacuating the students every time. But then, on the 12th of September, 5 years after Samia's death, the fire alarm went off again and nobody evacuated. Only this time,
They all went to death.
there was a fire.
Okay.
It was in the science block, and an entire classroom burned down. Fortunately, nobody was hurt. But after the fire department put out the fire, they showed the principal the room and showed him where the fire had started. It had started in the middle row on the 7th seat. It was Samia's seat. I had moved out of the state and up north by this point, but I remember reading the school's online paper at the time. It said that the school had had an educational visit, and educational is in quotes, educational visit from a priest on the 12th for an entire day. Was this an educational visit, or was it an exorcism to banish Samia from the grounds that she'd been haunting for 10 years?
I don't understand what her damage is, really.
Samia's? I'd haunt the school.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'd be like, mate, you didn't pack my fucking pills.
Oh, yeah, that's true, that's true,
I'd
that's
come
true.
back and
Oh,
haunt the
yeah,
school.
I forgot that very key detail of the story, yeah.
What's that damage? She's dead.
Good, got it, yeah.
Yes.
Why am I going first? Please, Callum.
Okay. Well, this is creepy.
Oh my God, I'm at 17.
Oh, hello. I'm still on green. Are we going in here? Oh, please do not pass here. Oh, look, there's a Ouija board.
Oh, go and look around that corner.
Oh, no. Oh, my God. Oh, fuck off. Just fuck off. That's horrible.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, 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 oh.
Oh.
Oh, 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 oh. Should we put this on as well? Just for effect.
I don't know if I can handle that up here.
All right. I've never done a Ouija before. So what do we do? Put our hands on it?
You have to start with hello.
Hello?
And you absolutely have to end with goodbye.
Oh.
Are we doing Adam? Is it Adam?
Oh, it is
Oh,
Adam.
it's Adam.
It's
Yeah,
Father
all
Adam
right.
up here.
Should we try call him first?
Yeah.
Are you here? If you're here...
Did you hear that?
What?
I said yes.
If you're here, say yes again. Okay, if you're here, turn this this thing red. Everyone hates that. All right, fine. If you're here...
That was hello. You heard that. Adam, if you're here with us, can you give us a sign with the board, please? I know that was you. Dickhead.
It's always going to be one of us, by the way. It's gone to a double green.
Double green, okay. Can you give us a little bit more? No, didn't like that.
No.
Is anyone else hear that noise? Whoever's making the lights do a little dance, do you know who threw the bedside table down the stairs? That was me.
Ah, it said that was me. Are we allowed to take our hands off this?
Oh God, I don't know.
Okay, you seem most comfortable with the spirit box, so let's maybe go with that. So it was you, did you say, that threw the furniture down the stairs?
It was.
It was. You said it was? Oh my God, shut up. Okay, why did you do it? Why did you send such a warning to Caroline? Did you do it because you just wanted to have some fun? You were just trying to scare her?
Yes.
Yes. Have you been in this house long?
Forever?
What did it say?
It said a long time. Will you ever leave? I'm not gonna leave.
Shut up. Have your friends joined us? How many of you are there? A few.
A few. What's your name? Adam. He said Adam.
Could ask for Adam. He's one of the original priests. That's his name.
All right, Adam, we feel like maybe we should try somewhere else up here. Maybe where you feel more comfortable. It's quite a formal setting here.
Big chest over there.
Yep. You want to open it up, Hannah?
No, I don't actually.
Shall I open it? How does it open? Actually, it looks like it might. Is that broken?
Maybe I'm just. Oh, sorry. Fuck you.
This is where he threw the furniture down the stairs. It was like here.
Okay, I got it.
And it went across the bed and down the stairs.
As if Caroline slept in this fucking room. It's terrifying. Oh, Adam, is this where you threw the furniture down the stairs?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I don't like my feet being on the floor. Right.
Oh, what, so now they're naked and he can just eat them? Should we try the table?
Let's try the table.
It's here. 50.
At the top of the stairs?
At the top of the stairs.
Should we do the tipping table at the top of the stairs?
When I was standing there, I felt really horrible and cold.
Hannah, let's do it on the landing. What we do is we put our hands on the table.
Yeah.
And then we energize it by rubbing it in a clockwise motion.
And making it wobble.
And making it wobble.
Okay, got it.
And then what you do, and I'm going to have to go to you for this, Hannah.
Yep.
You have to say the Lord's Prayer.
Yes, okay.
And you have to, we both have to envision ourselves in a white, bathed in a white light.
Okay.
I'm doing.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, now and forever. Amen.
Nailed it.
Thank you.
Can you show us a yes? Can you show us a no?
Can you throw this table down the stairs? That's your favourite.
No.
Oh. What? Who? Hey, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Who's that?
Who is that?
And why are they here? Who's that? Hey, who's that?
Okay.
Is who?
They just said us. Oh, hi, it's Vanessa. Okay, mine is not about Christianity. It's about a farmhouse.
Ooh.
And it's from, I want to say Kirsten because she spelled it with a Y-R.
Yeah, she's, yeah, I don't know.
Kirsten White. Anyway, my husband and I lived in a 100-year-old farmhouse just outside of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Those are rookie numbers. And they lived there for 6 years. So it's an old dairy farm in Osage County, just a few miles away from the site of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre. So why would anyone move basically into the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house?
Good
Kirsten
question.
asks.
Good question.
And it was cheap, it was close to her job, and it had room for her horses and her dogs. There were a couple of old barns, a pond, a tree-lined creek on one side of the house, and the closest neighbours were about a mile away. During those 6 years, weird things happened on an almost weekly basis, the entire time we lived there. When we came home from work, the cabinet doors would be open, or a drawer ajar here and there. My mind immediately went to the paranormal, but my husband is a skeptic. I, however, never felt like I was alone in that house, but to me at least, whatever was there seemed to be more playful than malevolent. The malevolence came later.
Oh, I was going to be like, oh.
The end. We had a nice time and nothing bad happened. No. When I was alone in the house during the day, I would always hear the sound of faint piano music. We didn't have any close neighbours, nor did we have a piano.
I was going to say.
Every now and then I'd feel someone tap me on the hip or on the leg when I was cooking in the kitchen. Again, my sceptical husband would just try and explain it all away because it seemed to be only happening to me. Typical man. But then, one morning, when he woke up early to go for a run, my husband swore he very clearly heard the sound of 2 children laughing behind him as he walked out of the front gate. And this he could not explain away. Whenever we had friends or family over, we noticed odd patches of fog and mist would build up outside the house. I also noticed that our 2 horses always refused to walk on the side of the pond nearest to the creek. Instead, they'd take the longest route around the pond to avoid walking by those trees. I even tried to ride them over there one day, and my horse flat out refused. This sort of stuff occurred regularly for around the first 4 years of living there, but after I found out I was pregnant with our first child, things immediately began to escalate. The odd mists began to appear more frequently, and our dogs began to fear going out in the yard unless one of us was with them. And then one day, I saw it. It was in the barn one morning. I was standing at the entrance when I looked at the shadowy far corner of the old barn and saw a pair of fuzzy white eyes.
Fuzzy white eyes?
I know. I'm picturing like fuzzy dice from a car but in an eye shape.
Okay.
Possibly. I didn't dare take a step closer, and I shut the door and left the barn behind me. And it was after this that I began to see shadow people. One night I woke up at around 2 a.m. and went to the kitchen to get a glass of water. While I was at the tap, I looked into the living room and saw a 6-foot-tall black figure outside the front porch windows. It then moved from one window to the next, as though it were trying to find a way inside. My first thought was that someone was trying to break in. But the second I put my glass down, the figure moved around the right side of the porch and then vanished. At that moment, I was sure that it had not been a human. We had a huge rose bush that covered the side of the porch, and no human would have been able to move through it without getting stuck. Top-tier security. The very next night, my husband and I were watching a movie. I hate that word. We're watching a film in the living room when we heard a loud bang from outside. Thinking it was one of the horses kicking their stall, we paused the film and went outside. But we couldn't find anything wrong, so we came back in 5 minutes later. When we got back in the living room, not only had the TV been turned off, the Blu-ray player had been turned off, and the tray had been ejected. We couldn't believe what we were seeing. And after this, I began to have very vivid and violent dreams, so much so that I dreaded going to sleep. Most of the dreams centered around my younger brother who had been murdered several years prior. It's like whatever was haunting us targeted the thing that would upset me the most. Since I was 8 months pregnant and we couldn't really move out right then, I enlisted the help of a friend who's a member of the Osage tribe to come and do an offering to the spirits to help save our home. After that, the activity slowed down. My nightmares stopped, and the shadows, more or less, stuck to the trees by the creek. 2 months after I had our son, we listed the house for sale. I bet that was a tough job. Even with less activity, I couldn't risk anything happening to our son. So when a developer offered to buy the property, we jumped on it. The developers demolished the house and the barns. We still have to drive by the old place on the way to our new home, and my husband has seen mists over by the creek, heading into the trees.
Well, that's it, guys. That is all of your beautiful Red Haunted stories that you sent us. I know we haven't done it in about a year. We'll try to do some more. Send us some good ones. If you've got some video ones, audio ones, we love it. But we really hope you have enjoyed hanging out with us today at the Ram Inn, scaring ourselves silly. I have also touched those things, so please don't tell me that I'm hexed in the comments. I don't need to hear it.
I've already set myself on fire.
Exactly. What else could happen?
And thank you to Amazon Music for being here with us also.
Absolutely. We could not have done this quickly again without them. And thank you all so much for voting for us to get gold again at the Listener's Choice Awards. It honestly means the world. It's bonkers.
And now we want to go home and hope that nothing follows us.